SPLINTERLANDS recently put out what I think is some very bullish news on SPS. So today we're going to be talking about that news. Also, as a small investor, how to start earning more. Hello, kamusta, hola, namaste everybody. This is Luke with Luke Plays to Earn, helping the small investors not to be whale food, but to earn, and for eventually all of us to become whales as well. And so before we start talking about SPS, 5-second plug. If you want to join my channel membership, Justin was the first one. You can join the private Discord. It's awesome. Go be a member if you can. There you go. Hopefully that was 5 seconds. So today we're talking about SPS, some bullish news that came out in the gold foil press of Splinterlands. If you did not read it, we're going to go over it, as well as talk about the price, talk about where I see it going, talking about how to earn more. So let's just first start with the news, shall we, from the Splinterlands gold foil press. So here's a couple of reasons of why I see this as bullish. One, they firstly just say, hey, 2021 was the launch of the token, but 2022 we have much more utility planned ahead that we are adding to SPS itself. So the more utility in a cryptocurrency, usually the better it does, because people want to buy it so they can use it for something. And secondly, you can go read about SPS validator nodes if you want. It's a little more technical than what we'll get into today. So if you want to read that, you can. But a couple other things that are bullish. One is the foundation treasury. So if you don't know, 10% of all the SPS tokens go into this foundation. Right now it says there's about $4 million worth of cryptocurrencies, not just the SPS tokens, which has some from the private token sale, SPS token sales, and earnings from LP positions, liquidity pools. So the cool thing about this is that it's not just the creators of the game. They're like, yeah, we get this huge pile of money as the SPS Foundation. Actually, it's the joint staked SPS token holders that are the ones that are going to be able to, as a community, vote on what happens with this money. So of course, yeah, the owners and the creators of the game, they have their own SPS, so they get to partake in this. So it's not like they're not benefiting at all. But I'm saying, really cool thing about this, and a lot of play to earn cryptocurrencies, is that everyone that holds the token gets the value of this. So this foundation treasury, we're all going to get to propose different things. So if we want to say, hey, we should make a new liquidity pool, or if we want to buy some SPS tokens and burn them so there's less supply, hopefully pushing the price up, that is an option we can vote on. If we want to distribute funds back to token holders, anything the community votes and agrees upon and goes through those validator nodes will be put through those. The creators, the makers of the game, are not the ones making the decision. All of us who are holding and staking SPS are the ones that are going to be able to decide what is happening with this money. So that's one pretty good reason that I'm pretty bullish on SPS for the future. Secondly is the news of Rift Watchers. We've heard in previous side packs, we got the main packs of Untamed, and then the little mini version was the dice packs. I was not here for that. My Splinterlands journey started shortly after that, so I missed out on it. But the thing about those things is usually in the past, they have been the thing that you can only buy with DEC. So if you wanted to buy a dice pack, it was all DEC, and that DEC was to be burned so that the lower the supply of DEC would be, because it's always inflating, and so they want to give reasons to burn it. However, now they're saying in quarter 2 of 2022, so sometime probably between March and June, somewhere around there, Rift Watchers will be available. More packs. There's going to be 3 million packs, and you're only going to be able to purchase them with SPS tokens. So instead of it being essentially a burn of DEC, you're using now only SPS, which will go straight into the SPS Foundation Treasury, which we just talked about, which will all, as staked owners in SPS, get to vote on what happens to that money. So basically what they're saying is, based on the 3 million packs that they're expecting, they haven't confirmed yet, with $5 per pack, that would be around $12 million coming to this foundation, which they said already has $4 million worth of other cryptocurrencies, not SPS. We're essentially tripling that and putting 12 million straight into that foundation, which again, we'll get to vote as SPS staked holders on what happens with it. So this news of Rift Watchers actually makes me more bullish on SPS and a little more nervous about holding DEC, because they're saying the reason they're doing this is they're saying the SPS airdrop from holding DEC is enough utility, enough value for DEC. they're going to give additional utility once the SPS airdrop ends. So right now that kind of gives me the signal of, okay, they're not planning on adding new things to burn DEC. They're assuming people are just going to keep holding DEC because of the SPS airdrop, even though the price has gone down quite a bit since the whole market is down. So holding DEC is becoming less and less intriguing, and getting more and more SPS through the SPS airdrop and other methods seems to be more bullish long term, especially with things like Rift Watchers only being purchasable with SPS tokens. More on that in a moment. But let's talk about the last little bit of news. Essentially, they're saying, okay, the thing that has been pushing the SPS price down, besides all of cryptocurrency mostly being down right now anyways, is the fact that the supply is inflating and inflating. If we look at the white paper, there's 3 billion tokens to be released, and you can go into the game and see that only 450 million have been distributed, and I would say maybe a month or so ago that was even at 350 million. So it's been climbing over the last month or two, and it's partly because of this airdrop, right? So one of the things they're pointing out in this gold foil press is that the airdrop is ending here in July. So we only have 6 more months where, essentially per month, that's 33 million SPS being airdropped to players. And their private sale that they have going on for private investing is going to be done in April. So in 4 months and in about 7 months, there's going to be a huge amount of tokens. They say 53 million fewer SPS tokens per month being distributed in just 7 months. So the amount of supply that's coming out is going to be decreasing, and even by 1% each month going forward from that. Again, if you look at the white paper, this is the airdrop, which is 13% of the total token supply will stop being, it'll already be given out. So after that, there's no more airdrop. The private sale, which is 6.6%, is now going to be over in April. So come July, that's 20% of the tokens that will be released, but no longer be dumped out into the market each month. Now, you might be saying, well, there's still, technically maybe there's 5 other percent that's already been distributed. So yeah, in July, 25% of the supply is going to be out, but you're thinking there's still 75% of the supply. That is a big amount, right? That's still inflating over time. But the thing I think that we need to realize is that these other ones, their release schedules, while the airdrop was 12 months and the private sale was 10 months, all these other ones, except for this 1% partners and advisors, is going to be over 65 months. So while, yes, there's still 75% roughly of the supply after July to be still handed out through play to earn, through staking, all those different things, you're still going to take roughly 5 years or so for all of those tokens to be released. So roughly, math off the top of my head, we've seen in 1 year about 25% of the SPS token supply come out, and we're going to have 5 years of it being 75%, so roughly 15% a year, you could say. That means there's going to be less supply coming out each year, which, if there's less supply and more demand, if we think this game is going to continue to increase in players and do something good in 2022, well, then I think we should be bullish, not in the short term, but in the long term of SPS. Now, the last little bit of news, they want to remind that there is going to be the SPS play to earn aspect, and that should be coming once the airdrop ends. So that is just another reason, the more SPS staked you have, technically the more you should be able to play and earn SPS as well. So that's going to be another piece of utility for SPS and another reason for people to want to buy it. And if we look at the price chart, you can see why utility is so important. Remember back here, this is the announcement that you need staked SPS to get vouchers to buy up the Chaos Legion packs. Well, when people found out about that, they see the utility and they say, whoa, I need more SPS to stake so I can get more vouchers. And you can see the price peaked all the way up here around the 92-cent mark, and since then has fallen down with a lot of the crypto market in general. And so, adding more utility is just more motivation for the demand to be driven up. Even though the supply is still going to be increasing over time, I think the next, year, 2, maybe even 3 years, we might have to wait some time. I don't know how long. I'm not a magician to give you the price of what it's going to be in a year, but I would be shocked if if it never reaches over $1. I would be completely surprised. I would have to think that Splinterlands blew up. It just kind of failed as a company and didn't go anywhere from here. However, though, because I believe in the game, because I believe in the team, I think SPS is at a steal of a price right now. And, I'm not saying that you have to invest. I'm not saying, focus all of your resources into SPS, especially if you don't believe in this game. If you've kind of moved on into other play-to-earn games, that's totally fine. But as someone who believes in it, if you think this game is going somewhere, having SPS is going to be super important for the utility that is going to provide, the governance, the play-to-earn aspects, and you got to think about, too, that, if they start branching out into other games, the SPS is still going to be valuable there. We don't know if our, NFTs, the cards that we're owning right now, if they make a RPG down the road in 2 years, will those NFTs be usable? I don't know. I think SPS, though, is essentially owning stake into the company, owning stake into the project as a whole, and no matter what they do, I would think that SPS would be included in their long-term plans no matter where the game takes a turn. So am I saying buy up SPS right now at the price of whatever it is, $21.92, just under 22 cents? Well, again, if you believe in the game, I think this is a steal, and we might see it, as I was discussing on stream, if it breaks that last bounce, that support of 18 cents, it might go lower. We could see it maybe one day if the whole crypto market keeps going into this bear market. Then we could potentially maybe see 15, 10 cent, 5 cent SPS. I don't know. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting a little into SPS, a little into SPS, especially as it hovers around the support of 18 cents. And if it goes lower than that, great. I'll buy up more then. It definitely could go lower. But the thing is, to me, if I believe that this thing is going to be over $1, if I believe this thing in 3 or 4 years is going to be $3, $4, $5, $10 worth, who knows if, there's enough demand and Splinterlands keeps going and we burn some of the SPS, maybe it hits $10 one day. Are you going to be really sad that you bought in at 50 cents like I did? Are you going to be sad that you bought in 20 cents when it dropped to 5 cents? If one day it's $5, no, because either way, that's still a, 5, 10, 20x, whatever it hits. And, scaling in at a position, we don't know what the bottom is ever going to be. You can't predict that. You can't know for sure. So just having some now, having some later, and then having some funds to buy even more if it keeps going lower, that is my strategy. And I think if you believe in this game, it makes sense to start accumulating more and more SPS as you can. Now, my last little tip, because I'm supposed to be a guy that helps out the small investors, what if you don't have money? What if you're like, I just don't have anything to buy SPS? Well, there's a couple things you can do. One is that you can keep holding on to your DEC for the SPS airdrop. So as you earn DEC, instead of buying up cards and packs with it, hold on to it for some SPS. Even though it's not a huge amount, it's at least something. You can take that SPS, you can stake it and earn more on the stake. And then another thing I want to recommend that people told me about for a long time, but I just never did, and finally as a content creator I'm starting to do, is if you just go to Splinter Talk or Peaked or 1UP and you start writing articles about Splinterland, you don't have to be a content creator, you don't have to be a big name. You can earn Splinter Talk tokens, you can earn Hive tokens, and you can convert all of these into SPS that then you can also go stake if you like. So for instance, this is just an article I wrote about one of the videos about old starter cards. You get half of this payment into your wallet, and then half of it essentially goes into staking it into your wallet. So I got half of this payment just now. It pays you out after 7 days based on how many people upvote it. And here we go, Splinter Talk tokens, and I want to convert this to SPS. Off this one article, if I go max conversion, I just gained 75.5 SPS from writing this one article. And again, maybe if you have not that big of a name because you're not a content creator like me, I don't know if people upvote me just because of content creation and all of that, but I think if you write, explain your battles, explain your strategy for buying, explain your rental strategy, whatever it is that you can help other players will notice you and they'll upvote you, and you can get basically free SPS just by writing for Splinterlands content. So you can even go to new articles here, and these probably, as far as I know, aren't huge names, but people are earning 550 of these, 10, just a couple here and there. I think you can convert those over some time. And if you especially get an article that has, 1,000 Splinter Talk tokens or more, or if you're using Peaked, you can write one article, tag Peak Monsters, tag Peaked. You can tag one up and essentially earn across all 3 platforms. If you make a video, you can post it to ThreeSpeak and convert tokens there to SPS as well. And by the way, if you don't know this, essentially once you do that and do that conversion, it will be in your Hive wallet. And if you want to transfer it to the game, all you do is come here and you transfer in your 75 Hive engine, transfer in. So there you go. That's why I'm so bullish on SPS. Again, this is not short term. I'm not saying in the next month it's going to hit $1. If anything, I'm predicting that the price either hovers, stays where it is, or goes down a little bit. But I'm just saying that long term, the more and more Splinterlands is doing for SPS, the more bullish I get about it long term. And so I'm pretty excited about earning it while I can, while it's still cheap. And I hope you guys get an opportunity to do so as well. But that's it for this video. I see you guys in the next time or the next stream. Peace out. Pa'alam. Adios.